At the beginning of every NBA season, fans overreact whenever a player or team disappoints or exceeds their expectations. I mean, it makes sense. They've been stripped away from basketball for months, and they are really excited for real NBA action. But more times than not, the player or team falls where they were expected to be, and they just started off the season hot or cold. There's actually a probability theory that proves this. Let's get into it. The theory I'm talking about is the law of large numbers. The theory is basically saying that over time, the average of the results should be closer to the expectation with more and more attempts. And I know you're used to basketball content and talking about basketball, but stick with me because I promise that this will make perfect sense. So let me give you an example. Let's say a team is expected to win 60% of their games. In the very first game, they lost, but they ended up winning their second game. That means that their win percentage is 50%, represented by the red circle. If they lose the third game, their win percentage would be 33%, but the law of large numbers states that over time, the red circle will go towards the 60% line and will stay there. Even if the team goes on a cold streak and loses 3 games in a row, the red circle doesn't move that much and will slowly work its way back up anyways. I think the teams and players NBA fans are overreacting to are starting off the season hot, which would mean that they're starting the season off up here and will die back down where they're supposed to be, and vice versa. I think another group of these teams and players are starting off down here and will work their way back up where they're supposed to be. There are so many teams in the league that a big number of them will start off the season hot or cold. Many of us already know this from elementary school. If you flip a penny 5 times, it may land on heads all 5 times, but if you flip it 100 times, it will even out to a number close to 50. But with basketball, it isn't as simple as that. A coin is a coin and always has a 50% chance of landing on heads and a 50% chance of landing on tails. But with an NBA team, there are so many different factors involved. There are many free agent signings, trades, coaching changes, rookies drafted, the development of players, the regression of players, and how well players fit with the new players. Many people want to overreact because they think that sample of games at the beginning of the season reflect how that team will play for the whole season. That could be the case, but more times than not, they will fall where they're anticipated to. Last year, no one expected the Knicks to become the 4th seed in the East, but they started off the season hot and they kept it going. And for the Jazz to become the number 1 record in the NBA, no one expected that as well. But that's not what usually happens. Most of the narratives that get thrown around at the beginning of the season, they're just wrong. I remember in 2021, the Warriors lost by 26 and 39 points in the first 2 games of the season. Tons of fans thought they were going to be a bad team and that Stephen Curry would struggle, but at the end of the season, the Warriors were an above 500 team and Steph Curry had one of his best seasons ever. Jaylen Brown started off the season very hot, and many fans begged the question if he was the Celtics' best player. As the season went on, Jason Tatum took that title back, and almost everyone would agree. Every single season, there are countless narratives like this that just don't pan out right. Every year is different for every NBA team. Some make larger moves than others, but every season is unique. Even if a team doesn't make a lot of moves, some younger players will take a jump, and some older players will regress. You can't predict that type of thing. Players take time to fit well together and will struggle at times. I think a bit over a month into the season is a pretty healthy time to start judging a team or a player, but sometimes even that's not enough time. I just hope that after watching this video, you won't fall into the trap of overreacting. As hard as it is, I just want people to wait it out and be reasonable. It sounds pretty easy, but for the NBA community, it isn't. It always shocks me how so many narratives with so little evidence get entertained and get echoed. I just want you to be a smarter NBA fan, and I hope this video helped with that. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave a like as it does help me a lot. I read every single comment, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe for future basketball content, and thank you for watching.